Hi, we're Team 1 DJCS, Simplifying Processes.
Hi, I am Samishka Dasupan, the project leader for Team DJCS. I'm currently in my final year BIT Information Systems. INF370 gives students an opportunity to find a real-life client and solve their business problem.
My name is Jessica Hesa. I'm studying BCom Informatics in my third and final year, and I am a project analyst for our system, Ventrix, which is a resource management system made for Acquisi to help them manage their inventory, assets, and deliveries.
Hi, I'm Sipo Mapumu and I'm a final year BCom Informatics student at the University of Pretoria. I am a project analyst in our team. INF370 has provided us with an invaluable experience in which we learned how to identify and solve problems and create effective and efficient solutions.
Hi, my name is Joshua Gokul and I'm a final year BIT Information Systems student. I am part of Team 1 DJCS and we developed the Ventrix system, which is a resource management system. This allows for both asset and inventory management. Aside from this, our system also has the capability to generate various types of reports that can be used by administrators and managers to make important decisions as well as find out useful information.
Hello, my name is Cheo Kapilanchula. I am studying BIS Information Science, and our system provides better control over company assets, as assets assigned to employees can be checked in and checked out, as well as providing the asset history location.
Our client is Mr. Pranesh Lingam, who is the founder and CEO of Acquis. Acquis is a procurement outsourcing company situated in South Africa. It was founded in 2013. It consists of management, sales, procurement, warehouse, and delivery teams who work together to provide quality services and products to their clients. Some of these products and services consist of designing, supplying, installing, monitoring, and integrating renewable energy, providing high voltage overhead lines and accessories, designing, supplying, and installing IT solutions. Acquis' mission is to provide branded products and services of superior quality and value to help their clients create high levels of economic value that will set new standards of excellence in their respective industries. Acquis' vision is to achieve sustainable growth. Acquis' business problem is as follows. Over the past 2 years, employees have worked remotely due to COVID-19 restrictions. Thus, they have been supplied with company assets. Employees must complete forms when checking in and checking out an asset. These forms are filled and stored physically. Employees keep track of inventory leaving and entering the warehouse using a notebook. The implication of storing information like this is it could be easily lost, it poses a security risk, and the process of managing information is tedious. Additionally, when planning deliveries, clients are primarily contacted telephonically to ensure they are present at the time of delivery. This tends to cause mix-ups and deliveries often have to be rescheduled. Management struggles with adequately tracking various information regarding the inventory and assets. Our proposed solution is the Ventrix system, which is a resource management system. It consists of a website and a mobile application. It will offer administrative functionality to manage daily operations and user access, managing and storing information regarding inventory and assets, offering reporting to assist in decision-making and the management of assets and inventory, and a mobile application which will assist delivery drivers with scheduling and tracking deliveries, as well as notifying clients on rescheduled deliveries. The administrative subsystem will allow users to manage daily operations and control user access. Admin users will be allowed to manage the users on the system, backup and restore information, manage suppliers, clients, adjust depreciation, and OTP times, manage employees, write-off reasons, warranty periods, warehouses, asset repair reasons, security questions, and time slots. The login subsystem will allow users to access the system based on the user roles set for them. They will be able to register their account, log in, log out, update their user details, and reset their password in the event that they have forgotten it or they would like to. The inventory subsystem will allow users to manage and store information regarding the inventory items. They will also be able to manage client and supplier orders, perform stock takes. The asset subsystem will store and manage information regarding the asset items. Users will be able to assign assets to employees, write assets off, allow employees to check in and check out their assets, view asset transactions, manage asset categories and types, log assets for repairs, and view asset information. The reporting subsystem will allow users to generate reports regarding the inventory and asset items, the inventory supplied and demanded, the depreciation for assets, a report containing employee details and which assets are in their possession, and a management report. These reports will assist management in making decisions and seeing what is going on overall in the company. The delivery subsystem will assist the drivers in their daily operations. Drivers will be able to view deliveries and plan a delivery route based on the deliveries they have selected. As they go about the process, clients will be able to track what is happening with their package. This is the admin subsystem, and users will be able to do the following. They will be able to add new users into the system, I'll give this user the user role of admin. It will notify us that the user has been added successfully, and it will also tell us that an email has been sent to the user. They can use this to register their account. We are able to edit the information of the user. And we're also able to delete a user as long as they have not registered their account yet. If they have, it will tell us that the user currently has a registered account. So we can delete this one over here. Users are also able to add new suppliers into the system. It tells us that the supplier has been added successfully. We will also be able to edit the supplier. I will change the email address that I added in there, as it had a typo. We're also able to now delete suppliers. We'll delete San John. We're able to view employees and also delete them. We cannot delete this driver over here as they're associated to entries. We can, however, delete this employee.
and there they are deleted. We're able to update and view the depreciation set on the system. Let's update this to 10. It notifies us that the depreciation has been updated successfully. And there we go. We can also update the OTP time on the system. It is currently 60 seconds. We can make this 45 seconds. And there it tells us that it has been updated successfully. There we go. We're also able to add in a write-off reason. Let's delete this one. Okay, we cannot. Let us delete this write-off reason over here. And let's add it again. Unrepairable. It will tell us that the write-off reason has been added successfully. And we can see it over here. We can also edit it. Let us add a typo. Okay, there we go. Let's correct that again. And there we go. We can also add in warranty period. Let's make this 3 years. The warranty period has been added successfully. We can edit this and make it 4 years. Again, we can also delete this warranty period. We have a warehouse. Let us call this warehouse Centurion warehouse. It tells us that the warehouse has been added successfully. We can edit this again. Let's make this 1270. And we're able to delete this warehouse. We're able to add in, update, delete, and view asset repair reasons. So we can delete this one, broken. We can add it in again. We can edit it. Since there's a typo, fix it up again. Then there's security questions. We're able to view these, update, and delete them. So let's add one. What is your mother's maiden name? We can add that there. And then we can update it. Let's make it, what is your grandmother's maiden name? And it shows over there. We can add time slots. And put this for 12 p.m. So (4 p.m.). It will tell us that the time slot has been created successfully. We're able to edit this. I'll change the time to 3 p.m. That change is reflected. Users will also be able to back up the system files to a drive. I'll now be explaining the login subsystem. So when a person is added as a user on the system, an email is sent out. This is how the email looks like. Users should use this to register their account. So we'll use the email to which this was sent out to, and then the password which was given in the email over here. Users will then be required to fill out the rest of the information. So what's remaining is the title, identification number, phone number, and the home address. An SMS will be sent to the user's number. It will notify the user that their account has been successfully registered. They'll be able to select security questions, provide answers. It will notify the user that the questions and answers have been successfully recorded. That user will now be able to log into the system. We will still be using this password over here. Okay. And we're able to log out. I would like to update some user information over here. So I'm going to update this name here. And to update this information, the user should provide a one-time PIN. And the account information is updated successfully as displayed here. To reset their password now, they can fill in a new password. The passwords unfortunately do not match. We retype this. A one-time PIN will be sent to the user's provided telephone number, and the password would be updated successfully. In the event that the user forgets their password, they can provide the email address and provide a new password. one-time PIN will be sent to the user's provided phone number. And the password will be updated successfully. In the event that the user has forgotten their email and password, they will be able to provide the answers, the questions and answers that they selected for the security questions and answers. It will notify the user that it has found the account. And a one-time PIN will be sent again. And the password will be updated successfully.
The system. Well, it's quite simple. You click on the menu option over here on the left hand side, which will expand the left navigation bar. Then you click on the asset items, which will expand, and over here you would find the asset functionality. So let's go to asset category. Over here, you can see that we now have a list of asset categories on the system. We have furniture and technology. If you want to add a new category, you can just click on the add new button. So let's call it new for the purpose of this demonstration. Click on save and the asset category has been added successfully. Now we can edit the asset category as well by clicking on the blue pencil icon. So let's just say it's new category. Click on save and it has been successfully updated. We can delete a category as well. So let's suppose I want to delete the category. You can just go there and it has been deleted. If you want to view certain tabs for a category, you can just click on the eye icon and then over there it would show different types for that asset category which you have selected. And you can add a new tab as well. So let's suppose, let's click on add new. We have chair and table already. Let's just suppose it's a desk. Click on save. And it will tell you that it exists already if it is a duplicate name. So let's suppose it is a side table. Asset tab has been added successfully and you can see it over there. So let's go back to assets and let's go to asset items. When you click on asset item, you would now have a list of asset items stored on the system. So over here, you can add a new asset. You can view the conditions of an asset. So let's suppose I click on this iMac. You would have the picture of the asset item, the condition, it will tell you it's good. Depending on the condition which you have chosen, it would either be good, poor, or bad. It would also have asset information such as the manufacturer, type, category, and the value as well. It would tell you how long is left of the warranty for that asset item, as well as the asset's history location. So let's go back to our asset items. Now let's suppose I want to delete an asset item. I can just go here and click on the delete icon, confirm, and it has been deleted. If I want to add a new item, I just click on the add new button. Let's just call it Asus. Manufacturer is Asus. Category is technology. Say it's a desktop. Condition is good. Warranty period, let's say it's 5 years. Warehouse. Supply warehouse, let's just say it's 30,000. Let's suppose the warranty was in August. Then we choose the asset image file. So let's just say Asus ZenBook, open, and you click on the save button. The asset item has been created successfully, and we can now see it over here. You can edit the asset item as well by clicking on the blue pencil icon, and let's just suppose it's no more Asus. Let's just say it's Dell Inspiron. And you would choose the asset image again. And the asset item is updated. It is now Dell Inspiron and the manufacturer is Dell. And if you click on view, you would see the condition is good and the asset information. the warranty and the asset history location as well. So let's move over to asset repair. So over here, you can choose an asset that needs to be repaired. So let's suppose this instrument 3000 needs to be repaired. You click on the repair icon. You choose a reason. Let's suppose it is broken. The asset is damaged and cannot be used. Click on save. Asset repair added. Now, so once it's added, it will not show it here anymore. You can go click on the pending repairs button, and over here you would see that the instrument 3000 is broken. It will tell you the repair reason and the description that you have entered. If you click on over here, you can select to say that the asset has been repaired. So once you click on yes, it will tell you the asset repair has been captured. And then you can click on the assets repaired button over here, and it would show you a list of assets that have been repaired and the date and time at which it has been completed. So moving over, let's go over to assign asset. On this page, you can assign an asset to an employee, as well as view assets that have been assigned to an employee as well. So let's click on assigned assets. Over here, it will show you that this asset has been assigned to this employee. You'd have the employee email and the assignment date. You can also choose to undo an asset assignment. So if I click undo assignment over here, are you sure you want to undo this? Yes. And the asset has been unassigned. So let's go back to our asset assign screen. Let's suppose I want to assign this asset, the Inspirin 3000, to an employee. I will click on this arrow icon, select an employee, and click assign, confirm, and the asset has been assigned. So now if I click on the assigned asset, you would see that that asset has been assigned to the selected employee. Moving over, we now have check-in asset. So over here we can check in assets. So let's view assets that have been checked in. So there's no assets that have been checked in as yet. Let's go over to checkout assets. Because an asset has been assigned to me, I can choose to check out an asset. So you can see it's been assigned to this employee. If I click on this button, you would have to select document. So let's just choose that for the purpose of demonstrations. I want to check out asset has been checked out. And if I click on the checked out button, it would show a list of assets that have been checked out. So let's go over to write off assets. So let's suppose you need to write off an asset. You can choose from the list of assets that are displayed, and then you could just click on the red edit icon, which will be a write-off. So let's suppose I need to write off this S tab. I would click on here. I would select a write-off reason. Suppose it is unrepairable. Asset is damaged beyond repair and cannot be used. You can save, and the asset has been successfully written off. We can view assets that have been written off as well. So we just click on the asset write-off button, and we can see that we have the Dell Inspirin, which I've just written off. If you click on here, it will tell you the reason for the write-off information as well. Okay, moving over to our last section. This would be our asset trail. So this just gives you information about assets that have been created, written off, and information such as that.
Hello, my name is Cheo, and I'll be taking you through the inventory subsystem of the Ventrix system. So first we'll start off with the inventory category. In inventory categories, you can credit, and inventory items of the system are categorized via category, and each category contains various inventory types. So for example, the technology category has the following types: USB, laptop, and keyboard. So as mentioned before, these are all categories and types are both credible. So we'll start off with adding a new category. So in this instance, we'll just say new. And I'll just show you that this can also be just updated. So we'll just say new category. A new category then can be assigned various types to it. So we will add a new type. So in this instance, we'll just say new. Right. Then following along to inventory items. So as you can see, as mentioned before, there are categorize via category and type, and there is a search functionality here at the top, so where you can search inventory items. Right. So going back, we'll add a new inventory item, and inventory items on the system are also credible, with the restrictions being that if inventory items are associated to a supplier order or client order, they cannot be deleted. The same can be said for inventory categories and types in this instance. If they're associated to inventory items, they can't be deleted. So in this instance, the technology type, well, the technology category has types, so that's also another factor. If the category does have types assigned to it, then it can't be deleted. So in this instance, you have technology, and if we try to delete USB, it's associated to inventory items. So going back to inventory items here, we'll just CRUD and add a new item onto the system. So in this case, we'll just say item, well, we'll just say new item. Then using the category and types that we had previously defined, these can be associated or specified here. So there, and then we will add a new supplier for the particular inventory item. So TechWiz, and we'll specify a warehouse where the inventory item is being stored. All right. You'll see that now the inventory item is now stored onto the system, and you see that currently the quantity on hand is 0. So to increase and decrease the quantity of hands, we have to make use of client and supplier orders. So we'll start off a supplier order to increase the inventory on hand, or the quantity on hand for that particular item. So right now, we're going to add a new supplier order, right? So we will just specify the number. So I'll say 006, specify the supplier, and we will say Lily, and then we will choose a file. So essentially what happens is supplier order and client order invoices have to be uploaded. Supply order and client order invoices have to be uploaded onto the system. So in this instance, we will just upload supply order 5 here. All right, and you can see here that you can't have duplicate file names. So in this instance, we'll just add it here. So supply order invoice here. So we do that, add it onto the system, and you can see it's been loaded up here. You can see there's a download functionality where you can also download the invoice onto your system, just view it, and you can see it here. Right? And then going back to the particular supply order, this is where we load up the particular inventory items. So you'll see that inventory items will be displayed for the inventory items that the supplier supplies will be loaded up for you to select and load onto the system. So you can see here via the checkboxes on the right, you can select the various checkboxes here, and then specify and choose which quantity on hands you want to increase. So in this instance, we're going to increase the quantity on hand for new item, and you'll see that any inventory items that are selected will be pushed to the top. So we'll just add 800 here, right? And you'll see here there's also a search facility as well as filtering. So we'll load up the inventory onto the system, and then you'll see here that if we go back and then we go back to the inventory screen, you'll see that the quantity on hand for new item has increased. So if we go back to supply order in this instance, this is where an aspect of the master detail table has been utilized. So you'll be able to display and view the loaded inventory items for the particular supply order. You can see that the quantity was 800. You can see, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's more in depth on the client order screen. So we'll be going to that next, where we'll be then decreasing the quantity on hand for this particular inventory item and other inventory items as well. So again, going back, there's also a search facility here, so you can search for a particular supply order, and then we'll just go back here to client orders, and then here we will then add we'll add a new client order. So supply orders and client orders in this instance are both all credible. They can both be edited. So if we choose to edit the inventory item loaded up for a specific supply order, so for this instance for supply order 006, if we were to then change the supplied inventory item to, let's say, 700, then we just change it, load up the inventory item, and then we go back to here to the read inventory screen. You'll see that now the quantity on hand is 700. So going back to the client order here, first we'll add a new client order onto the system. So in this instance, we'll say client order description 080, we'll specify the client, and then we will then go here and then choose the client order invoice to load up onto the system. And then it works similarly to supply order in the sense that you can download the particular invoice for the client order, and you'll see that the current status is added. So here's where the master detail is being utilized in the sense that you can check the client information here. You can check the status history for that particular client order here as well. So in this instance, if we had to go to order 0011, you can see a full history of the status history for that particular client order. So if we just go back to 080, you can see it over here. Then we're now going to load up inventory items for the particular client order, right? So here we specify the inventory items that we want to load up, and it works similarly to supply order. We'll click the check boxes on the right and specify how much of the quantity on hand, or how much we want to how much of the inventory items is meant to be loaded for this particular client order. So in this instance, I'm just going to choose another one here, right? So for here, and then I'll utilize new item here as well. So we can specify 10 here to here, and then we'll specify 390. If it is over the available quantity on hand, an error message will be displayed. So if we said 700, then it will say an invalid quantity was entered. So just going back again, just to confirm. Okay, it's just red here, so let me just do 4, but change that back. You'll see that the quantity is higher than the stock on hand. So if we go back, we'll specify that's 10. So we'll load the inventory items for a particular client order, and then you'll now see that for order 080, you'll see that the status history, well, the status now is processed, right? Because the inventory items were loaded up for the particular client order. And then again, as mentioned before, it is credible, so you can't just delete excess client orders or client orders that haven't necessarily been you can delete client orders that have been added or processed. If the status is further than that, so if the status is then collected, delivered, or en route, then they can't be deleted. So in this instance here, you can see that you can't delete that client order. So once a client order is processed, then it can be packed. Now in this instance, you can then just edit the inventory items loaded up for a particular client order, so you can remove items that you want to remove off the particular client order, right? And then you can just load up the inventory items. Well, yeah, you can just remove items for a particular client order, or you can then change the quantity of inventory items for a particular client order. So we can change this to 12 and then update it here. Right, now going to the next part is where we will then pack a particular client order, and this is the one that we had just created, 080. And in this instance, if you click download here, once again, if you click download here, a PDF will be generated that will specify the particular items that are loaded up on the client order. So this is for the warehouse employees when they're packing, and this is for the warehouse employees when they're essentially packing the inventory items for a particular client order to be then collected by the driver. So a PDF is generated that just tells the warehouse employee who it is being shipped to, it gives detail when it was processed, and then it lists the inventory items as well as their quantity. So closing that, you can then pack the client order, and then going back to the client order screen, you'll see here that for order 080, the current status is packed, right? So if we go back here to pack client orders, or if we go back to pack order, you can see that you are able to undo changes for a particular client order, but this is only if the status is packed. If the status is obviously collected, delivered, and whatnot, then you will not be able to undo the change. Right. Going back next is now writing off a particular inventory item. So in this case, in this instance, you can see that you can write off a particular certain amount, or a certain amount of, a particular quantity on hand for an inventory item. So you can specify the right of reason why it's being written off, and then provide a description. So you can just specify a description here, and then you can specify the quantity being written off for this particular inventory item. So in this instance, you're writing off surgical gloves. So you specify how much you'll be writing off. And then you'll see here for surgical gloves that the quantity on hand is now 300. In this instance, you can then view the write-offs for surgical gloves, and you can see that a new entry has been created where we writ off about 80. And then you can view the description as to why it was written off. Right. And then finally, we will do inventory stock take. And here it's just editing the quantity on hand for a particular inventory item. So individual quantity on hands can be edited. However, if need be, warehouse employees can then simply just import a stock take. Well, sorry, they can just export the stock take for the inventory items currently loaded up onto the system. It will then generate a Excel spreadsheet which indicates the quantity on hand. And here, this is obviously in the case where there's numerous amounts of inventory items loaded up into the system, so well over 1,000 items in this case. Then warehouse employees can simply edit a Excel spreadsheet and then quickly import it back via the web application. So in this instance here, we're going to change the quantity on hand for the new item from 700 to 500. Right, we'll just save here. And then maybe we'll just change surgical gloves back to 380. We'll close that. And then here we will import the stock take that we just exported. And then you'll see that the quantity on hand, for the items will then be updated accordingly. And that concludes the inventory subsystem.
If you go from our dashboard to the nav bar and you select the reporting option, you will see our 6 reports that we have: inventory, assets, supply and demand, depreciation, employees, and management. If you click on inventory, this is the inventory report where you can filter by all of these options on the right: components, furniture, technology, which will show you those, medical, which will show you that, chemicals, and new category, which we did in one of our marking sessions. You can also filter by the type under the category. So in technology, you could go for USB or laptop, medical, surgical gloves, etc. Then you can also filter by the warehouses, so main, bulk supplies, and supplier, or all. Then you can see that all of our items have been listed here. You can show as many as you want in the selector. This is the date, the current date, as that's when you are generating the report. Then you can go to the next page if there were extra items, which obviously we don't have yet, and this is how many entries are showing. Then if you say download PDF, it will download the PDF, and this is what the PDF looks like: Ventrix, our logo, inventory report, and a little description with our items in a table and details about the report that was generated. Then we can go to our next report, which is our assets report. Also a list report like inventory. You can filter on the right by furniture or electronics. And then in furniture we have chair, in electronics, tablet, desktop. You can also filter by the warehouses. Like in inventory, we don't have anything in supply warehouse yet, and filter by all. Then we can download the PDF, and this is what the PDF looks like, the same as inventory, with our description and our items, and then details about the report that was generated. Then we can go to our next report, which would be our supply and demand. You choose the month. I'll choose September. This is what our demand report looks like. I'm going to filter by inventory items. You can see the different items in our bar graph, and then our items at the bottom with the quantities. We also have our supply report, which we did in a nice donut chart, which also has below it the items and the quantities. We can download both of these as PDF. This is what the supply report looks like for September. And this is what our demand report looks like for September. You can also download export as a report. This is what the exported report looks like in Excel for demand. We have our items and the quantities, and then this is our bar graph, which when you hover over you can see the quantities of the items. Then for our supply report, again we have our items and the quantities, and then a pie chart which when you hover over shows the different quantities. Then onto our next report, which is our depreciation report. I'm going to select the iMac. This is what our depreciation report looks like. It's a straight line graph because our depreciation runs on a straight line depreciation method. When you hover over the dots, you can see the value at those points. We can download this as a PDF, and this is what the PDF looks like. And then we can export it in Excel. This is what it would look like in Excel. We have the years and the value at that point, and then on the line graph, again, when you hover over the dots, you can see the value at that point in time. Then onto our next report, our employees report. This is also a list report, just stating the employees of the business that are currently on the system. We can download this as a PDF, and this is what the PDF report would look like. And then onto our last report, which is our management report. I'm going to select September again. This is what our management report looks like. We have our total percentage of supply orders and client orders, and then 100% delivery rate. We can download this as a PDF, and this is what the PDF looks like. Also a table below the graphs just to tell you the percentage of client and supplier orders. Then we can export it into Excel again. This is our client order and supplier order percentages and our delivery rate, and then our pie chart for the supply and client order, and our delivery efficiency.
I will be displaying and explaining Subsystem 6, the Ventrix delivery app. When the app is launched, it lands on the welcome screen in which the user must click on Login to be redirected to the login screen. The user will first have to log in using their registered email and password. The system will only give access to users whose user role is a driver or admin. The app will validate the user role and blank spaces to ensure that the details are filled in, or it will display an error message that says invalid details. I will demonstrate. After the user successfully logs in, it will land on the Ventrix app homepage. The user can then access the menu from any screen. They will be able to return to the homepage from any screen, deliveries, collections, search orders, help, and log out. These tabs display options in which the system can access from the home screen as well. It's the same as what is displayed on the menu. The Ventrix delivery app works hand in hand with the Ventrix resource management system. Specifically, the inventory subsystem dealing with the client orders and packing those specific client orders. The process is that the client will place an order and the user will add that order to the system. They will then process it by adding inventory items to that specific order. Then the user will head over to pack that specific client order. That order will then be displayed on the Ventrix delivery app under collections. This order now needs to be collected. In order for the user to do that, they have to use a sliding motion to reveal the collected button. The order is now collected. Once the order is collected, the user can head over to search orders. All the orders with the status collected, scheduled, rescheduled, or en route will be displayed here. After the order has been collected, the user must then head over to the deliveries. in which they need to schedule that specific client order for a delivery. Again, with a sliding motion, to reveal the schedule button, the user will click to view the client information and select a specific time slot which that delivery will take place. They will then schedule that delivery. As we can see, the status of that specific client order has been updated. The client will also be sent an email to state that the order has been scheduled with the date and time to expect delivery. The QR code is also sent for the user to scan, receive the link, and paste it into their web browser, in which it will display the order tracking for that specific client order, with all the statuses of which it's been updated and gone through, as well as the date and time it has been updated. At this point, the user has options with different functionality. They can either slide to the left and reveal the edit button to reschedule that specific delivery. Once again, it will display the client information and the current time slot that is chosen for delivery. The user will then click to reschedule that specific delivery for another time slot, and they will also have to provide a reason in which they are rescheduling. The user can also slide to the right to reveal the View Order button, which will display once again the client information and time slot that is chosen for that specific client order. Or the user can choose to click En route and change the status of that specific client order to say that it's en route. To demonstrate rescheduling, the user will click on Edit, click on the new time slot, provide the reason, and reschedule. At that point, the status is once again updating, as you can see over here, and the user will be sent another email to state that that order has been rescheduled with its new scheduled date and time. And the reason, after an order has been scheduled or rescheduled, the user has an option to update that specific client order status to en route. Please note that an order can only be rescheduled once. As you can see, the order status has been once again updated, and the user has received yet another email to state that that order is en route and expect the delivery driver to arrive soon. The user has to complete this delivery, in which they have to receive the client's signature. They must then save that signature and complete that client order delivery. For the last time, the client receives an email to state that the order has been delivered with the specific time and date in which it took place. The user has options to refresh and view help, which explains the sliding feature of the system. The user can also access this through the menu. This will display a static screen explaining the user how to use the sliding feature to move an order to the next process. The user has an option to plan the delivery route. Over here, it will display the total distance of the route and duration for that specific day. All the client orders that are assigned to that day will be displayed here, in which it displays the kilometers per client, and the user will be able to adjust that route in which they want to take. The user can also click on that specific client, and it will display the order and the address with the travel time. The user can log out of the Ventrix delivery app, which will bring them to the welcome screen again.
Acquisi's initial problem was that they couldn't accurately manage their resources, as well as track their deliveries to their clients. Our system, Ventrix, assists with this. We have 6 subsystems, namely admin, access, inventory, assets, reporting, and delivery. Our delivery subsystem is our mobile application that allows drivers to collect the package from the warehouse, schedule the delivery, generate a route for the delivery, reschedule delivery if need be, and deliver to the client. Our admin subsystem allows the administrative position of Acquisi to create, read, update, and delete most of the items in our database, such as users, warehouses, time slots, etc. Our access subsystem allows for login, logout, register user, as well as forgot password. Our inventory and asset subsystems are where we manage our inventory and assets respectfully, and also allows for inventory stock takes as well as the assets assigning to employees. Our reporting subsystem consists of a few reports, namely the supply and demand reports, the asset and inventory reports, as well as the management report.
Thank you.